everyone. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're just going live tonight. Live. We're going live tonight. Happy to see you here. We'll see who's in chat in a minute. We'll get the camera on and we'll start saying hello. Where are we? There we are. It's been a while. Howdy, folks. You might see we're in a different location. Oh, why is this camera being rubbish? We need to see the saga. There we go. We can see the saga. There, stay still. We're falling over. Let me do something here. We're going to put something behind it. Oh, that's why it's falling off the back of the thing. That's better. Right, professional YouTuber here. So, right, let's see who's in chat. We don't have any clips this evening, unfortunately. But you know how it is. So first up we had OG Star Wars saying smash the like. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Then up we had SWA's here. And he's got the banjos. Where is it? Oh man, I wish I had my clips. In fact, OG Star Wars is here. We have to play her song. Even though we don't have the clip. Because we all know that OG Star Wars is the boogeyman. That's not even it. That's it. Something like that. But we have to rock it every time OG Star Wars is in chat. Let's see. Up next we had Throaty saying, "Evening all. Hope you're all okay. Doing okay, man. Adjusting to new life. Things that are happening in life. There we have it. Another happy landing. Not quite SWA, but we'll get there. We're winging it right now. The burning experiment. A real cantina entertainer. That's right. No, I'm a space bard. We're space bards on this channel. Speaking of like bards, is it even in tune? I remember trying to do like a bard song, kind of like what's that band called? Okay, they're German, but anyway. Something like that. We're nervous this evening. And we've had a couple of IPAs, so we're running on nervous energy. Don't worry, we'll get into the topics. Who did I miss? Blunt's Books is here. Mr. Blunt himself. Thanks for being here, dude. Everyone go subscribe to Blunt's Books and OG Star Wars. And SWA has a Rumble channel, I believe, so go subscribe to him. Decrepit. He says, "Sup, bro, I'm at work. Can't listen right now, unfortunately. Hope the stream is a good one. Cheers, bro. We'll catch the replay later on." Oh, that's rubbish. Yeah, if anyone's catching the replay, thanks for being here. Architect Warriors says he's just dropping in to say hi to everyone. And Star Wars Scran, and to everyone in the chat, what is your thoughts on Don Lemon getting arrested? My thoughts on... I don't know who that is. I'm not very cultured, apparently. I probably do know who it is. Right, let's see. OG Star Wars saying, "What's up?" Backseater saying, "Yo, Scran. What's up, dude?" That was funny the other day. I managed to jump onto Matt Wilkins' stream for a couple minutes just to say hi and to break the barrier, right? Because we'll never stream together unless it's on Purist's channel. But Backseater jumped on there. And then Matt said power went out for like a week, didn't it? Careful, you're blocking the view of the saga. Nah, Liquid Blake. It's right there. Well, it might fall off the table. We better be careful. Don't want to damage pure gold, do we? Critical Drinker just dropped a video saying he wants fantasy to be heroic again, which is hypocritical since he praised Andor for being dark and gritty. Star Wars show. Hashtag authentic. That's what they do. They'll just they want something to praise, and then they'll say all the right things afterwards, right? Oh, he's a news anchor, is he, Don Lemon? I've not been up to date on anything happening. I've been busy getting out of the Skrantina, and that's a point of conversation. The doors to the Skrantina are officially closed until we can get a new place of residence to have the stream. But currently, as you'll see from the thumbnail, we're basement dwelling. We're back at the parents' house. It was funny because I was taking all my luggage into the house, and I think all the neighbours thought I'd been divorced or something like that. Let's see. Scran, laddie. Oh, where'd it go? Are you drinking anything tonight? Sure am, dude. It's hiding behind the saga. Tonight we have, what's it called? Neck oil. So you know it's good. It's just an IPA. It's pretty good though. If I had my clips, I'd play it. What's everyone drinking in the chat? I know we're all at different times of the day, right? So, I hate this camera angle. I have to kneel down just so I can see his. There's Seth at work, but have a good stream, bro. Hope the move has been going well. It's getting there, dude. I'll give you all an update in a minute. You better not have me up on the projector, I'm telling you. Nazo's here. He says Scran Zone. Right. They will never. Pardon me. Dan Blackwood says they will never let you take that out of the country. Scotland can't lose that kind of wealth out of the lands. Yeah, it's probably true. But if you'd seen my last video, you saw that it wasn't on purpose. The saga just had to come with me. It's sneaking into the luggage to get out of here. Morning orange juice time, nice. Oh, SWA's got his H2O. Nice one. I'm glad the channel lore is surviving, even though I'm a bit erratic and dude, I can't even find the words right now. I'm mind blanking here. So anyway, I thought I'd give you, since there's a good handful of you here in the chat, I'll give you a wee update on like what's happening with me. So over the weekend there, I moved out of my apartment, right? Or if you're in Britain, it's called a flat. It's whatever. We left the apartment. We did it like it was like Friday night. Just blitzed the place. So I'm back at home now, in my childhood home. It's weird. And I was putting all my storage stuff up in the attic, or if you're in Britain, it's a loft. So yeah, it's weird. You got all the last of my worldly possessions all up in my room. So just wanted to take a little time tonight just to chill out, try and relax a little bit. That'll be good. And in terms of like the actual move, not just being a basement dweller, right? So I don't even think I've said this out loud yet to all you guys. I got my visa application got approved, so that means that I'm now waiting for an appointment to go down to London and get an interview. And when I pass the interview, they'll send me on my way. So things are moving. It could potentially be another few months. Just you know what it's like, paperwork and stuff like that. So yeah, like 13 months of waiting for some correspondence, and they finally gave me the go ahead. So it's pretty cool. And I'm glad I got approved because I just like left my apartment and my wife's out the country without a visa. So oh, we can't hide the saga. I'll put it back there. Take this saga with you to the interview. They'll just they'll give him my green card there and then, won't they? They'll be like, oh, he's trustworthy. Get him out of here. He's all good. Hope all goes well. Looks like you're leaving the UK at the right time. I don't know. I don't follow, like, I'm pretty neutral on stuff, man. I'll not get into. The channel's not really the place for that sort of chat, but I just keep to myself, man. Multimedia. That's what the channel is, man. It's multimedia. You can hang out at the Skrantina, or you can dwell in the basement. It'll grease the wheels. Iron Inquisitor says, haven't had a basement to dwell in since I left to live with my grandma. It's not all bad, man. Grandparents' houses are pretty cool. So let's see. Right, we've got a few topics to conversation just to chat away. Hopefully, you are all just chilling out, and I'm not wasting your time. But feel free to come and go. But actually, I'll for anyone that's not interested in the couple topics we are going to be diving into the Star Wars Visual Dictionary. I found it up in the attic when I was putting the rest of my stuff up there. So took a look through it. Some interesting things we'll talk about that don't all pertain to the trilogy. So that'll wet your whistle, grease your wheels, as Liquid Blake says. Wait, what is this? Tell them you know the story for the never-made Star Wars sequel. They will stamp your papers immediately. You know George Lucas? Aye, well, I ken the guy that helped George Lucas make Star Wars, so if you'll just send me my green card, I'll give you a little bit of intel on what could have been. Yeah, none of this fan fiction that's going around. Buntspook's house doesn't have a basement. I'd never seen a basement in my puff until I'd visited America, and I was like, it's a lot of wasted space down here. People just like dump stuff down there. I've not heard of that channel, Nasal. What are they called? Lost Explained. Talking about well, just TV shows in general, or like the Disney Star Wars stuff? Let's see. Yeah, that is pretty funny, Blunt. Right. You might see I'm a bit scruffy. Like someone online told me I looked like a dork. They were like, you've got glasses and short hair, so I'm going back for the Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith look. Can't go wrong there. Oh, Mystic Troll, are you in the UK as well? I think I knew that. Hey man, it's like the world's pretty crazy everywhere. You know what I mean? We all go through our different stuff. I just happened to marry an American, so it's just one of those situations that came up. Let's see. So, some of this stuff you've probably heard on like other channels, like Benny the Shells. That's Purist. Hopefully he's listening. He keeps trying to get me to stop being a Rumbleist and to stream over there, which I do want to do. I need to sort all that stuff out. I'll try and get that set up for next week. So the first one was EBN YBB. Wait, YBB. He was talking because they're talking about all the AI stuff, right? And I saw a bit of their stream today. They're talking about making AI music. So I left them a wee comment saying that Purist was debuting one tonight. So been a while. Right. So why baby? Yeah, that's right, SWA. Tonight on Bane of the Shells. Go sub over on Rumble. Don't be a Rumbleist. But anyway, they were they've been pushing the AI slope, right? The AI slope, and they were saying that people who don't like it are basically just against using tools for art, right? But I'm not the first one to make this comparison, but these are the guys, because I remember I used to follow their channel, and they were very like against the prequels and stuff like that, and a lot of it was to do with that fallacy, you know, the rhetoric that like George just depended too much on CGI. But then it's like he was developing the CGI for like future movie makers and stuff, right? So they're that's a different conversation. But I know Liquid Blake's and Dan Blackroyd's in here. I keep calling him by his old name. He's a big proponent of the Phantom Menace, the saga, right? It's like a really, we joke about it, but it's like almost like the perfect blend of CGI and practical effects, right? But these like Star Wars fans, they just, I don't know what it is. They just rhyme off all these like statements that they hear other people say, you know. So I think it's a perfect blend, and that like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were basically revolutionizing that like the blue screen and digital technology. And the thing is, like most modern movies, like say like like the MCU, right? Most Marvel movies end like the third act. It's always like we call it like a CGI fest, right? And it's always like a big fight, and it's like there's just so it's like overstimulating. There's just so much going on, and it's like it doesn't look realistic. It's like they just depend on the CGI to put on a show. That's what it is. It's like a big show, right? But these are the guys out there also praising that stuff. So there's a lot of people talking out both ends of their mouths. Perfection. That's right. Phantom Menace is perfection. Hey, Rodimus Prime's here. Howdy, dude. Thanks for being here. We're just chatting away, taking it easy. I don't think we'll go too long. We'll see how long we go for, but I feel bad. Basement dweller here got got family in the house. Don't they keep them up? Oh, it's funny. Soul Assassin. I didn't see you come in, man. Sorry. I was there during the prequel era and remember most people loved them and had little to no hate for them. That's what I was just a little kid, but in my research, that's what I've discovered as well. When the haters can make a video of them turning into a camera, like Luke is dead, they can talk. I love that clip. It actually looks kind of silly, but it's good. I look tired, SWA. I'm a wee bit. No time for sleep. We're talking about the saga. No time for sleep. What did Bon Jovi say? Sleep when I'm dead. Before Thunderbolts, there was the Phantom Menace. Before Phantom Menace, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wish I had my Thunderbolts clip. Yeah, Lord of the Rings has good practical and CG. I think it's always like it's more like the creatures, right? Phantom, the prequels have that issue as well. I think like the texture of like the creatures isn't quite there yet, which is weird because like I don't know. Sometimes Jurassic Park looks a bit dated, but I don't know. It's really good. I think that they made it in a way that it's kind of timeless. You know, you can kind of look past it. No sleep for the wicked. Oh, there's my streaming buddy. Go subscribe to my streaming buddy. He's a really nice guy. Bilbo Baggins. Yeah, that's true, Bunt. Like, you'd think it would like improve in time, but I think it's more down to like time pressure and to like resources, right? Like I imagine there's only so many special effects companies out there, right? ILM helped make Jurassic Park. That's right. I'm sure it was a big factor in the Phantom Menace getting made, right? Hey, Kathleen Kennedy produced that movie. Didn't you know that? She's amazing, lads. Let's see. So yeah, they want to. My point being, like EBN, they want to like trash Lucas Star Wars, including the expanded universe. Right? We've seen that. But now it seems like they're getting a lot of attention from grifting off of like the AI stuff and acting like EU is something that they're interested in. And the thing with the AI stuff is that it's utilizing. I don't remember if I talked about this on the last stream, but it utilizes like the Disney Star Wars continuity. So it's not even like they're giving you EU stories, you know. Like the stuff with like the bleeding kyber crystals, and what was the other one? It was like one of them had the Emperor being Anakin's father and stuff like that. It's crazy, but people are like, "Oh, this is what fans want." Like fans are taking it back. Like this is great, but like if it's not official, I don't want it. I'm not interested. It's cool. Like I've thought about doing like a fan film, like a animated one. Like I don't even know how I'd go about it. It'd probably take a lot of time, but and it is. It's a lot of time and effort for something that like you're probably going to care about a lot more than other people. You know. I don't know. It's a weird one because I've really enjoyed doing the artwork for OG's art challenge. It's a really good way to show your fandom for something, I think, and improve your art skills. So moving on from that, we've had a lot of Skran, have you read the Darth Maul comics from early 2000s? There are people to Shadowhunter. I've not read them, but I know what you're talking about. I really like the Drew Struzan artwork for those, and then I'm pretty sure it's Jan Durasema who did the Legacy comics. She does the artwork for those, and yeah, a lot of it's referenced in Shadowhunter, right? Pretty cool. One AI fan film used Dark Lord but couldn't get scenes, and the Jedi on Kashyyyk right. EBN praised it, yet hates the EU. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So yeah, a couple of years will get a kick out of this because you've seen it online. So we've got a lot of these people trashing the expanded universe, and they're doing it by saying that like the Jedi ability of force healing, right? They're saying that it ruins Anakin's story arc, but then like they fail to realize that like when Anakin sets out to like save Padme from death, right? He has this vision. You've all seen the movie. He has this vision that he perceives to be like fate, like it's gonna happen, right? So like basically, he didn't want to prevent. He didn't just want to prevent death. He wanted to solve it. And the thing with force healing, this is why we're dwelling in the basement. This is pretty nerdy stuff. The thing about force healing is that like it speeds up natural recovery, like the natural healing process, and basically just eases pain, and it's basically like a band-aid, like not a cure. And I'm sure you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Or maybe there's a few instances where it works a little bit differently. And then so I just think it was actually Iron Inquisitor that pointed it out. He's like, with that logic, like back to tanks ruin the lore as well. So it's just these really silly talking points that they're like designed to get, well, to like make people view real Star Wars differently. And in a lot of cases, it's to defend like the new stuff, right? Yeah, all and a lot of it's in the name of defending like Filoni Clone Wars as well. people make too much fan fiction about Anakin as an adult. Doesn't fit our character at all. Yeah, he's a kid. Where is he? Anakin's a little kid. Why are they making fan fiction about him as an adult? That's not what was written. Wasn't written, so I'm not interested. Right, what else we got going on? Oh man. So, I saw this the other day. Leslie Headland talking about the Sith from the Acolyte. She said that what's the character? Is it the stranger, whatever his name is? She said that he was supposed to be the original Knight of Ren. And that made me, I got a kick out of that because I remember when all that was going on, and people were like, "Oh well, they can't mention the Sith because that breaks lore." And then when it came to it, they're like, "Well, they can talk about Sith, but like the Jedi all have to die." And then they just like they kept moving the goalposts. And it's like, well, she never actually said that he was a Sith. He says that, you know, Jedi might call me a Sith. You know what I mean? It's the kind of thing that Filoni does as well. And I know that she looked to him for like guidance on that show, no matter what people say. He was involved with it and signed off on it and stuff. So I remember getting into it with someone and they were like calling me all sorts under the sun, and I'm like, right, well, you can come back to me and apologize when I'm right. And like I totally was right. They utilized the Sith, and then I'm sure at the end of the show, like some of the Jedi survive, and then it's heavily implied that like Yoda is made aware of this, right? So it's this thing that they do, and they try and villainize the Jedi, and change the way that you view George's movies, and that's how they do it. They don't physically alter the movies. They make their own stuff to alter it by by tampering with things that make you view those movies differently. And I think that's a bit of a sin, to be honest. Let's see what you are saying to it. Alright, good. We're talking about the Jedi healing. The Force healing, sorry. The nerd stuff is why I show up. Nice, dude. I'm trying to kind of pull away from the drama stuff, although it's fun to talk about. We'll still do it occasionally. Force healing. OG says force healing can't heal fatal wounds. Yeah, that's what I understood to be the case. Dark healing can. Yeah, and that's I'm sure in order to do something like you're tapping into the dark side to do some of that stuff as well. Because I remember Cade Skywalker in Legacy when he was doing that for like Delilah Blue and stuff like that. He was tapping into the dark side to do that. Yes, Soul Assassin, we're talking force healing. Nowhere in the Jedi Code or this so-called philosophy does using the force to heal break it. Nah. Soul Assassin's just being a bit of an instigator, isn't he? That's what he does. Rodimus Prime says, Scran, did you know Qui-Gon Jinn almost turned to the dark side in the Jedi Apprentice books? I did read that. I've not read the books, but you know, a lot of this kind of background stuff I've come across in the insider magazines, and I'm trying not to spoil stuff for myself, but I love reading those. It makes me feel like I'm back in the day, just enjoying Star Wars as it's being made, right? My neighbour's shouting at something. Right, okay, so let's see. But yeah, the whole thing was like Chiari Mundi saying that the Sith have been extinct for millennia, right? That's the whole thing. So like they not only contradicted what he said, they also contradicted like his birth, like his age and stuff like that. And they did it in real time because I remember that happening. But yeah, it's funny that like after the fact they come out and be like, yeah, not only was he a Sith, but he was the first Knight of Ren. Like, not that that matters, you know, it's fake Disney lore, but she shoehorned Plagius into there as well, right? Let's see. Don't forget to hit those likes. Oh, cheers, dude. Appreciate it. Are you doing any watch parties soon, streaming buddy? I liked those Final Fantasy ones you did. The only watch party I've ever done was for the saga. It might stay that way. Who knows? And then, let's see. We've got one other topic before we get on to the visual dictionary. You know what it's like sometimes when you're struggling for stuff to talk about. You're like, right, Google, what's happening with Star Wars? What's the state of Star Wars? And then it was a Marshall Lucas story that came up, and I've not seen anyone else talk about it as of yet, so I thought I'd touch on it. But I'm sure we'll get everyone else's takes in due time. Soul's sole purpose of becoming a mod. Well, he's a mod on like everyone's channels. He does a good job though, so he gets away with trolling, doesn't he? Obi-Wan also left the Jedi Order for a brief time when he was still a Padawan in the Jedi Apprentice books. Yeah, because he was basically failing at being a Jedi, wasn't he? And then I think he and Qui-Gon ended up on like a mission together by accident or something, and he managed to prove himself. Oh my gosh, none of this was in our planned history. We created a timeline with the saga that is unrivaled in accuracy and detail. The universe was written around the saga. I'm in full agreement, dude. I'm in full agreement. I like seeing all this these theories going on. But hey, Dan Blackbird, if it's not true, just if it's just a flat out no, just tell us. Like, I'll just ask you, did Qui-Gon almost turn to the dark side in the Jedi Apprentice books? Or did Obi-Wan leave the Jedi Order for a while? Like, you wrote the history, so just let us know if that is even a running theory or like are we just way off base? So, Marcia Lucas, and she was talking about, she had an interview to do with sorry, I'm really monotone, folks. I'm pretty tired. Like, oh, here we go. The Sith are actually just Jedi that ate after midnight. That's the real canon of the creation of the dark side. Oh man. I managed to get little Jaina to watch Gremlins recently, and she's obsessed with Gizmo. She keeps trying to do that, like, you know, that wee song he does. It's pretty funny. But I've heard that her mum's scared of the Gremlins, so that's the first movie I'm going to watch with them when I get there. Anyway, Marcia Lucas. This is an interview she had talking about George Lucas, and like the main. We're not going to talk too much about this aspect, but the main point of the interview was her talking about being worried that she'll never get to say goodbye to George Lucas, and she had a really good she had really good years with him and stuff like that, and she feels like he'll never forgive her for leaving him and stuff like that. But the part of I think that's probably the part of the interview most folk are going to be talking about. But the part that caught my eye was it talks about her accomplishments as a film editor. It says she edited American Graffiti, and there was a couple of other movies. With a keen instinct, her contributions to Star Wars are legendary, as she helped build scene structure and transitions, including the use of wipes that became a signature of the saga's visual style. Directors, including George, relied on her judgment. So first of all, I'm pretty sure the wipes thing that was George. I'm pretty sure that was George's idea from like the serials that Star Wars was influenced by, but you can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But like the thing that I took away from that was that it's talking about her accomplishments within Star Wars, and it failed to talk about how like she saved the movie in the edit, right? Like it was all Marshall Lucas. It was nothing to do with the other two gentlemen that helped. I always forget their names, although I talk about it occasionally. But yeah, it was a bit strange that they never added in the fake news, right? I mean, it's a good thing. And then obviously they never talked about how, what was it, Star Wars Theory was saying that George took out the Force and Marsha put it back in, and George was freaking out. Dan Blackrod, were you and George like total freaking out when Marsha put the Force back into Star Wars? It's not like it was a big part of the movie or anything, right? Gizmo is a fine example of puppet superiority. If we shave Gizmo, will he look like Baby Yoda? Soul Assassin. There's to be none of that chat going on here. I mean, they ripped him off, obviously. But then you could say that Gizmo ripped off Yoda in the first place. I don't know. Gremlins are cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember reading about that in The Cloak of Deception. That's one of the ones like I forget that I've read. I did like it though. Scientific questions need to be addressed. It's true. I have no memory of this editor. Oh well. You can tell people like EBN and all those fans that proclaim that she saved Star Wars that it's fake news. And I can tell them that we got it right from the source, Stan Blackrod. Right, folks, that was the handful of things I wanted to talk about. We are going to get into the Star Wars Visual Dictionary that I saved from the attic yesterday. Little but total slur in my words here. So, the Star Wars Visual Dictionary is a reference book. I'm a Wikipedia warrior tonight, folks. It's a reference book written by David West Reynolds, released by DK Publishing on September 19th, 1998. That was the main reason I looked it up, so I was wondering what year this was published. Yeah, and obviously I've got the Phantom Menace one and the Revenge of the Sith one. And then I think it was 2006, they did like a complete visual dictionary with all of them, and it was updated and stuff like that. But I took a few notes of some of the stuff throughout the book that you might find interesting as pertaining to like expanded universe, right? And I was surprised that this is Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. I always thought that they did episode 4, but never did 5 and 6, and then did the prequels. I don't know why I thought that. So I was pretty chuffed to learn that it was all 3 of them. This is all pre-saga material. Yeah, I guess this is all the stuff you and George were talking about. Someone was paying attention and wrote it down. So we shall read the good old blurb, and then I'll work my way through it. There's not too much. We'll get through it as quick as we can. Star Wars. Star Wars. Star Wars. The Visual Dictionary brings DK's world-acclaimed visual style to the Star Wars universe. High-quality annotated photographs supported by stills from the films explain every important feature of the characters, creatures, costumes, droids, and equipment found in the Star Wars trilogy, the most popular films of all time. Author David West Reynolds was given unrestricted access to the famed Lucasfilm archives at Skywalker Ranch in California. Key objects from the films have been rephotographed and even recreated by expert consultants from ILM, a division of Lucas Digital Limited, and George Lucas's award-winning special effects production company. The result is a unique and fascinating reference work that reveals the characters and creatures of the Star Wars films as they have never been seen before. So there we go. Right, introduction. Yeah, I think they're really great. Years of planning. The fantasy world of the Star Wars trilogy has come to take on a curious feeling of reality. Created for films, the clothing, weapons, technology, and other items appearing in this visual dictionary feature the nicks and dents of long-time use. The look of no-nonsense functionality and the convincing detail of actual objects. The characters, creatures, and droids of Star Wars were given extensive backstories and personal histories that bring them to their points of adventure on the screen. It is the extraordinarily rich conception of Star Wars and its trappings that makes the fantasy seem so real. The devoted labours of many inspired artists and performers wrought a universe so detailed that we can hold it up to intense scrutiny, always discovering new subtleties in the marvellous tapestry. Herein, you will find the tangible elements of the Star Wars saga explained in detail and presented with clarity as never before. Here you may come very close to touching all this imaginary reality for yourself. You hold in your hands a guidebook and a passport to a place where the blaster bolt smell of ozone and the rock canyons of Tatooine hide mysterious eyes in the dark. Welcome to the world of Star Wars. Awesome. So, I'll take a wee look at what you're saying and then we'll dive into it. We had so much pre-saga material, we couldn't fit it all in our one movie, so we created all this universe-building information and history to flesh it out. Yeah, it's clever. I don't know any other fictional universe that went to that length. Dan Blackroyd. Rodimus is giving us loads of lore. That's awesome. Dude, I hate Mondays. I'm just gonna say it. I feel rough. So actually, one reason I'm struggling is because my spectacles aren't on. So, right, here we go. The first part was lightsabers. Lightsabers tend to follow a similar basic structure, although many are very individualized by their Jedi builders. While the pure energy blade has no mass, the electromagnetically generated arc wave creates a strong gyroscopic effect that makes the lightsaber a distinct challenge to handle. Operating on the complex principle of tightly controlled arc wave energy, it requires focusing elements made from naturally occurring crystals that cannot be synthesized. I guess that's something that got retconned later, right? But then this is the important part. A lightsaber must be assembled by hand, as there is no exact formula for the crucial alignment of the irregular crystals. The slightest misalignment will cause the weapon to detonate on activation. And that's something I don't remember from the movie, but it is something I remember from Shadows of the Empire, which was released a couple years before this came out. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, like information coming out with the movies being utilized in source books and guidebooks, right? Where was it? Here we go. So data file, it says Luke's best friend was Biggs Darklighter, who left Tatooine to enlist in the academy. Biggs graduated with a commission on the freighter Rand Ecliptic. Luke is reunited with Biggs on the flight deck of the Rebel base at Yavin 4, where he learns that Biggs has become a Rebel pilot. So yeah, just like little bits of information about like the minute characters, you know, that aren't in the movie. This book in and of itself is expanded universe, right? You learn more about the Star Wars universe. Moving on. Well, here I'll show you some of the. There's some Luke Skywalker action going on in there. Sorry, I meant to show you the pages as we go. Right, actually, we're going to take this sleeve off because it's bugging me. Right, that's better. Where are we going? There's all the different Leia looks. Leia looks. Right, where did we get to? Yeah, that was it. As the adoptive daughter of Bail Organa, Leia was trained for her loyal position by the finest minds on Alderaan. The princess was highly educated in martial and political arts, and a lifelong preparation for her role. So a little bit of background on Leia that you will have read in Expanded Universe material. Here we go. It says here, Princess Leia is the youngest person ever to hold a seat in the Galactic Senate. Intelligent and a strong leader, Leia is used to taking charge and making things happen. That wasn't on the screen, guys. That wasn't on the screen. So here's these stock photos of Han Solo are always funny because he's always got like a wee short haircut that's not from the movie. And some like a lot of the like these 90s books were really bad at cropping stuff, so people's hair looks really funny. It says down here, as a child, Solo was raised by space gypsies, never knowing who his real parents were. He learned tricks and self-reliance from his adoptive community. That's not from the movie, guys. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a nice page with Chewbacca on it. Where's the bit I'm trying to read here? Chewbacca has a family on his home planet of Kashyyyk, including his wife Mala. Come on, Mala, give us a smile. His son Lumpy and his father Itchy. Wookiees are long-lived. Chewbacca is over 200 years old in a Wookiee's prime. That wasn't in the movie, guys. Oh, and here's a page for Greg Hates Everything. There's his favorite character. He was saying, I remember he was saying that he wanted Anthony Daniels to narrate the Kenobi novel. That'd be cool. He was really adamant about it, actually. I was listening to the Off the Treks stream today at work. It was good. hate Mondays, Scrans in American already. Dude. I'm at this stage where like I know I'm moving, but it's like I still have to like put the effort into like doing hard work, hard labor, right? And I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'll probably miss it when I need to start a new job somewhere, right? And I don't understand how their money works and stuff. Oh, here we go. Well, there's nothing on this page, but R2 is awesome, so there you go. The gold for 3PO would have been too annoying for the saga on screen, so we kept them stripped down. Oh, that's that's right. My parts are showing. Oh my. Here's Lando Calrissian in his sick outfits, right? Where's the bit I was looking for? Here we go. As a rogue and con artist, Lando built his early fortunes from modest beginnings, becoming a daring smuggler captain with a good head for business and a bad habit of gambling. Pardon me. He flew the Millennium Falcon for years before losing the ship to Han Solo in a sabacc match. The same game later won Lando control of the fabulous gas mining colony on Bespin. There's absolutely no mention of sabacc in the Star Wars original trilogy, so you can wonder where that comes from. Oh, there's a page for Star Wars theory. There's Lobot. Doesn't change the story. Doesn't change the story. Right, next. 23. Oh, that was another one. Lando uses an old underworld contact on Tatooine to secure a guard job at Jabba's palace. And I was like, I don't remember him saying that in the movies, but I wasn't quite sure because there's a scene at the end of Empire where it says something like, we'll get Han back or something like that. And I was like, does he say something about it then? He doesn't. And then I thought 3PO talked about it in the intro to Return of the Jedi. But what he says is that Lando and Chewie never came back from Tatooine. So I was like, right. So I'm like, that never happened. So you can wonder where that information comes from. Not the movies. Right, 24. Oh, here we go. This was a cool one I came across. There's old Ben Kenobi. It says there, it says Ben Kenobi once rescued Luke when the boy had become lost in the Tatooine wilderness with his friend Wendy. In spite of this, Owen Lars forbade Kenobi from ever coming near their farm again. And I looked that one up. It was from like, what was it? The something of Beggar's Canyon or something like that. Again, not in the movie. Original trilogy source book information not from the movie. It's expanded universe. It's not canon, bro. Where do we get to? Oh, here's a good one. Mon Mothma. It says here, Mon Mothma is the highest leader of the rebellion. As a member of the Galactic Senate, Mon Mothma championed the cause of freedom until the Emperor's evil closed in around her. Abandoning the Senate, she built the Rebel Alliance and continues to strengthen it through her diplomacy and negotiations. And then you've got fake Disney Star Wars that has Anbor welcoming Mon Mothma to the rebellion that she helped start. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Admiral Akbar, commander of the rebel fleet, the cautious Admiral Akbar hails from the ocean world of Mon Calamari. Once a slave to Grand Moff Tarkin, Akbar was rescued by rebels and convinced his people to join the alliance. The giant Moncal star cruisers contributed by his people are the largest ships in the rebel fleet. So yeah, another thing not from the actual movie. What are you saying about it? All the other characters are a possibility for the sequel. We just wanted to gauge popularity first with the pre-saga material. Yeah, what would stick, right? What fans would cling to. Oh, I'm already past that. That's why I'm getting confused. Lobot and Lando, best duel. Lucas Gerson, don't start spreading other other weird rumors about Lobot. I wonder what happened to Palpatine. I think we'll be going on to him in a couple pages. We'll talk about Palpatine. He should still be in charge at this point in the timeline. You would think so. You would certainly think so. Like, what a nice guy. You know what I mean? There's nothing of note on this page. I just thought you should see it because it's cool. Darth Vader. Dan Blackroyd. This would have been a cool character to actually do. I would have liked you to have fleshed this character out a little bit. The horror and tragedy of Darth Vader are revealed when he tells Luke Skywalker, "I am your father." Vader hopes to bring Luke down the same dark path of hate and anger that destroyed Anakin Skywalker. Instead, he finds that Luke is committed to finding redemption for his father in spite of all that Vader has become. So awesome, man. Ah, here we go. Emperor Palpatine. I don't remember him being called Palpatine in the original trilogy. That's weird. Did I want myself to read this part? Is that what's happening? In the last days of the Republic, Senator Palpatine used deception to become elected president of the Galactic Senate. Once in office, he appointed himself emperor. He declared martial law throughout the galaxy and began to rule through the military forces of the newly created Imperial Navy. Palpatine affected the simple clothing of a simple man, but drew his powers of persuasion and control from the blackest depths of the dark side of the Force. While the Force has twisted his face, it has also sustained him beyond his years, and even in his old age, the Emperor remains a figure of terrible power. So this is like a good example of how a lot of this stuff was fleshed out by George and Dan Blackroyd, right? It wasn't just making it up as he went along. They weren't just making it up as they went along. They had a plan for it, right? Even though details and things like that can develop over time. Oh, this was kind of cool. It says here, well, there's some. Everyone likes stormtroopers. There you go. Stormtrooper armor is impervious to. Oh, that's the wrong bit. Sorry. Where is it? Where's the bit I'm looking for? Is it the next page? Well, it says I've got the information here. No, that doesn't look right. Oh, here we go. There's like inside a stormtrooper helmet. That's pretty cool. Right, so it says here, other specialized Imperial Trooper divisions include flying air troopers. They fly, nah. Liquid-borne sea troopers, tunneling underminers, and magma troopers who crush revolts on volcanic mining worlds. So there's a handful of stormtroopers you didn't see in the movies that that exist in Star Wars, apparently, according to the guidebook. Yeah, we're not even talking about like Imperial pilots, specialist troopers, scout troopers. They were always my favorite as a kid, the scout troopers. Let's see. Imperial droids. Here we go. Oh, 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 oh. Right, which part of this did I want to read? Jabba maintains a lavish estate in Mos Eisley where he stays when conducting business at the spaceport. Wherever he is, he likes to eat 9 meals a day. Who knew that from the movie? Not me. And then everyone's favourite character, Salacious Crumb. It says, when Jabba first found this Kowakian monkey lizard stealing his food, he tried to eat him, but later he became amused by the creature's antics. Salacious has since taken on the job of Jabba's court jester. So a lot of this comes from like the is it Star Wars is it Tales stories, and it talks here about Bib Fortuna. Where is he? It talks about Bib Fortuna like trying to have Jabba assassinated and stuff like that. A lot of stuff not found in the movies. And there's other characters that were plotting against them as well. It's talking about pretty crazy. Expanded. Let's see. Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, everyone go sub to Bane of the Shells on Rumble. That'd be awesome. I like the name Maul instead of Vader too. That's true. Very cool. The original design for Darth Maul with the black helmet was interesting. I think the horns and face paint worked out better. That's funny. Right, okay. That's true, Jabba was integral to the posh racing culture. Right, we're past that. Oh, I've skipped something. Where are we? No, we read that. Here we go. Quite a few. Alright. Well, if we're going to talk about the bands, we have to talk about Max Rebo, everyone's favourite Blue Elephant. Quite a few more bands have arrived at the palace than have left. When really disappointed, Jabba feels entitled to feed bad musicians to his rancor. Well, known on his home world as Rapotwanalan Tony, Max Rebo's band plays a combination flute. Oh no, what am I talking about? Oh, that's that wee mad character with the little flute thing. I think he's only in the special edition. I don't remember that. If he was in the original. Even Max Rebo's name's not in the movie. Expanded upon. We're on 50. Here's a cool image of Boba Fett. I love how, like, you know, until Attack of the Clones, I never noticed that, like, the jetpack was, like, blue and orange. You know what I mean? Pretty cool how, like, those details were already there. It says here, Fett is notorious for completely disintegrating those whom he has been hired to track down and kill. Working as a spy for Darth Vader, Boba Fett first encountered Luke Skywalker on a moon in the Pana system, where he almost tricked Luke into giving away the new location of the main Rebel base. I don't remember that being in Star Wars, the movies. Oh, I never actually looked at this. Let's see. I was wondering if the Bosch costume, would get elaborated on more. It just talks about how she got it from a dead hunter. But she got that in Shadows of the Empire as well. What page are we on? Oh, did I skip him? There you go. Slave 1. It was always called Slave 1. That's what I mean. All you got to do is look at this stuff and it's all there. And then people will lie and say that it was never called that. You know what I mean? World building. Here it says IG-88 droids have attacked Boba Fett several times, badly damaging Slave 1 but never claiming Fett himself. Fett has now destroyed 3 of the assassin droids. That wasn't in the movie. Wasn't in the movie, guys. Here's a really simple one. The Sand People, also known as Tusken Raiders. In the Phantom Menace, they're called Tusken Raiders. But Tusken Raiders is a term from the... What do you call it? The Expanded Universe. Sorg says, Scran, who's the most underrated EU character? Out of what I've read, I think Darsha Asant from Shadowhunter was awesome. And yeah, I'll go for Darsha Asant. I'm kind of blanking right now. Who would you say is the most underrated EU character? That goes out to anyone, by the way, that wants to share. So going by that logic of Tusken Raiders, although I guess this is slightly different, Ewoks, including their names, Wicket, Teebo, Chirpa, that's all stuff not explained in the movie either. That's all without out with the movie. But everyone knows the Ewoks are Ewoks, right? There's if Matt Wilkins ever gets on the replay, there's a page for him. There's that classic Wicket photo. Oh, Brandon the Awesome's hopped in. Howdy, dude. Good to see you here. It's not every stream we get Brandon in here. Oh, Merrick's Terrick. Is that... No, I'm thinking of Mira. Am I... Who's Corin Horn's wife? Is that Mirax? Yubnub, yeah. Oh, I'll go for Corin Horn, but I feel like he's not underrated. I think people generally like him. Oh, here we go. My favourite bits. This page is for Decrepit when he's in the replay. Few bits. Alright, cheers OG, I thought that. Corn Horn, that's right. Corn Horn on the cob. So here it says, Figurin Dan and his band. The Bith musicians most often heard in the cantina are highly intelligent creatures with sophisticated musical abilities, a band called the Modal Nodes. Even though they complain, the band members enjoy their out-of-the-way dive and are glad to be away from their homeworld on Clackdoor, 7. The lead player is an expert gambler who lives well and pays off his occasional debts with his tunes, and meanwhile tries to keep his members out of trouble. They've been asked to play at Jabba's palace, but they're too smart for that. A lot of lore not seen in the movies. Oh, what's this? Skippy the Jedi droid is underrated. Well, funny you bring that up. Where's that? Oh, we're coming up to it. Believe it or not, Skippy the Force sensitive droid is mentioned in this book. There's the Rancor. There's the Rancor handler. It says they are
Malakili, the animal handler Manakili became an outlaw when some of his circus beasts escaped during a show and killed much of the audience. Jabba then hired him as keeper of the murderous rancor, which Malakili has grown fond of. Which is a really like it's one of those bits in the movie where you get a giggle, but it's like it's so simple, but it gives the impression that like this guy cared about this monster, right? So like yeah, he'd obviously spent time with the Rancor, and it's like it doesn't focus on it, but it subtly makes the world seem a bit bigger, which is the opposite of what Disney do with Star Wars. Here you go. Where is it? Here. There's Skippy, right? It says there, most droids have their memory banks periodically erased, which prevents them from developing personalities. The astromech droid R5D4, Red, blew his motivator so Owen Lars would have to take R2 instead. So this is obviously a bit facetious, right? Because unless the person writing it wasn't aware that Skippy, the force sensitive droid, wasn't part of continuity, right? It was like a what if story. And yeah, because I seen that in this book, and I'm like, right, well, is there another source where something like that did happen where it wasn't as like comical or whatever? The first thing it gave me when I looked it up was a Disney Star Wars story from 2017. I don't think I wrote down what it was called. But it portrays R5 as like an unsung hero who like intuitively senses that R2 has this information that's going to save the galaxy, right? So like Disney Star Wars actually did it in their continuity, like made it part of it, and then the EU, where it wasn't canonical, gets used as a way of bashing it. I just think that's insane. So there's R5 using the Force apparently, but like I said earlier, these books were upgraded later with more information. So I wonder if they alter that. Then, right, that's us through all the parts I thought were relevant to that topic. We'll have a wee read through the acknowledgements. Let's see. These older ones are a little bit different than the newer source books because there's a lot of names and stuff that haven't really applied to a lot of the stuff I've researched and learned. But we look through. It says here, thank you for Steve Sansweet's Grand Star Wars Encyclopedia. In pre-publication form, was a trusty and well-written resource, an especially welcome ally in the research for this project. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So this was written at a time where like the original encyclopedia hadn't even finished yet, and the Star Wars Year by Year that Pablo Hidalgo, the guy who makes fun of Star Wars EU fans and says that it was never canon, helped edit that book where it stated that the encyclopedia was collecting parts of Star Wars canon from the movies and the expanded universe. So there you go. And then lastly here it says, thank you to Lucas licensing director of publishing, Lucy Wilson, who gave the lot the chance to make this book a reality, and we hope she enjoys it as much as we did. So there we go. That was fun to go through. Let's see if I can put this sleeve back on without ruining the book. Ah, no! It tore! Oh, flipping heck, man. That's what it's for. It's a protective sleeve, right? So, folks, thanks for chumming me through that.
hope you had a good time just chilling out, listening to me ramble. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. It's a Monday night. I'm tired, but I'm really happy that you're all here with me, and you've got to look at the saga while I was rambling. Last thing I'll talk about. Should I announce it? Once I announce it, then I have to do it. Our next, it's going to be a wee while till I actually move, unfortunately. So, to pass the time, we will be reading, and I've chosen the book. Right, there's no way to like change my mind on it. We will be reading Dark Lord: Rise of Darth Vader, on the channel, on live streams, and we'll get through it as quick as we can. My first and still my favourite on any given day EU book is the Labyrinth of Evil, the perfect prequel to Revenge of the Sith. And then I read Revenge of the Sith during the year, and I blitzed it. It was amazing. I couldn't put it down, honestly. So we're going to conclude the Dark Lord trilogy live on the channel, because we read Shatterpoint on the channel and it was a good laugh, but like I'm not a purist likes to call me a Shatterpoint hater, a 4.5 out of 10, right? But I don't know, I think the book probably is like it's average, right? So we went on to do Darth Maul Shadowhunter. A lot of it was to do with like the fake news, like Shadow Lord show coming out, right? And it's coming out now, and I'm glad that we got it under our belt and we know the true lore of like the Shadow Hunter, right? But I want to read books on the channel that are like awesome, and I want you all to have a good time reading them with me. So I was going to do what was the book? I can't remember. I don't want to slag any books anyway. So we're here to hype up the EU and to preserve the lore. So Dark Lord: Rise of Darth Vader. I'll dig it out of my check bag during the week, and maybe next Monday, we'll do like a wee history of for the book, and then maybe like a chapter or two. But that'll be good. So right, it's out there now. Can't take it back, and hopefully we can get some more clips and stuff for next week, to make the live stream a bit more fun for everyone. So, OG Star Wars is listening to it right now. Well, I was kind of hesitant because I know that Benny the Shells is going to be releasing it soon on Bane's Expanded Universe Holocron. Is that it? That you should all be subscribed to. But there's no reason why you just can't make. You know what to do, mate. When it comes out, listen to it. Listen to it on his channel, and then you can join in while I'm reading it, and you can be like, "Oh, Scran, you're gonna love it," or whatever. But it'll be good. It's one I want to read, and I don't want to hold off on it anymore. So SWA likes it good. I know, Nazo. I want to do another banger before, because once you start, you're invested in it, and it's like you got to see it through. So, cool. So hopefully that was worth your time sticking it out, so you could get the announcement, and it'll be cool. So we've been going about an hour 20. I'm gonna go hang out with my twin brother and play some video games or something. Or I don't play video games. I'll watch him play. So yeah. Oh, nice. I've got a beer back here. Right, we're gonna crack open a beer. And you know what? We can go another few minutes. So, like, is there anything anyone wants to talk about in the chat? Because I'll no speak to you for another week. Chug, chug, chug. Yeah. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? What about it, man? Wookiees get over. I think you're talking about underrated Star Wars characters. I think Wookiees are overrated. They're not. I think Purist has pointed it out before. They're not all that, are they? They're just getting enslaved all the time. Why do Rancors fall in love? That sounds like a glam rock song or something, right? I fought every temptation not to pick up the guitar. Maybe during the week, I'm gonna have some free. I want to get back into like playing guitar and stuff like that, so I can spend some time doing that. Playing guitar, drawing, and reading. That's what I want to be doing. I'm sick of hiking. That's why I'm leaving the country. I'm sick of mountain hikes. Getting rained on. Ewoks versus Wookiees. Who wins? Ewoks every time. Oh, but George was going to put Wookiees in Return of the Jedi. Wookiees would have got beat by the Empire. They would have. When are you officially? So it's. I was saying at the start of the stream, it'll be a. I've got the okay. I just need to get the next part of the. I need to have my interview in a few months, and then I'll get sent over. Sooner than later, hopefully. Okay, yo, Narrow Dark, we're just finishing up, man. What you doing? Good day. Need to get a clip for Narrow Dark at some point. I'll get that creepy laughing character from the end of all your videos, or that the Dancing Jacob video. That'd be funny. But like superimpose your PDF on the face. Oh man. What's everybody up to for the rest of the day? Like, it's what time is it here? It's coming up for 10:30 p.m. Oh, a Thunderbolts watch party. Dan Blackroyd's always putting ideas in my head. He's the reason I did that stupid Phantom Menace video the other day, because I forgot to feature it in my like update video when I was packing up. I'm literally like trying to leave my flat for the last time, having an emotional moment, and it's like, oh, I better do this for Dan Blackroyd. But hey, it's here with us. It almost got put up in the attic, so you can thank Dan Blackroyd that the saga remains. The saga remains. Oh, here's a name I don't recognise. The chap watches. Howdy. Is this an account that we know and the name's just different? I'm currently binging The Continuity Wars by some faceless YouTuber. He's decent. Oh, cheers, dude. People like the Continuity Wars playlist. People either love it or they despise it. Like, some people hate those videos, and it's because they love Filoni Clone Wars. But I appreciate it, man. Oh, are you the fella that emailed me the other day about looking for sources and stuff like that? I really, that was one thing I wish I'd done better from when I started preserving EU. I wish I'd focused a little bit more on where the sources came from, because a lot of the times you find stuff and you screenshot it and you crop it, and then you're like, oh, like where did I actually get the source from? So sometimes you find yourself having to like retrace your steps and like find like the original source, and it's a bit of a pain. But because some people are sticklers, they're like, where'd that come from? You know what I mean? You're like, this is George's own words, and they're like, nah, I don't believe it. And we're living in a time now where like things could get forged, you know what I mean? But it's whatever. I'm just at the point now where I'm like, all the evidence is out there. I've shared it, other people have shared it. At the end of the day,
like the argument isn't what does George consider canon. It's what was canon. And when George Lucas's company released the official continuation of the saga, authorized by the creator of Star Wars, and it's established over a 30-year period, they're promoting it as like the next part of the saga and stuff. It's like, that's false advertisement. That's false advertising if you're gonna just like flip flop on that stuff, you know. And then there's the tier system. Make that make sense if none of it was canon. Like the whole point is that, and people can't fathom this. Like George was in charge. Who knew? He could do what he wanted. Everything was bound by what he was doing, you know? That's what retcons are for. Oh, they're going to retcon the sequels. Never going to happen. But they make retcon sound like a bad thing when it's not. And then you've got... Oh, I went on a tangent and lost my train of thought. Yeah, the fact in of itself of Disney Lucasfilm decanonizing it, and saying that they want creative freedom and stuff, it's like, well, you wouldn't be asking for that and talking about no baggage and clean slates and stuff if none of it mattered, you know? So did you ever get the camera back? No, I had to hand in my keys, Liquid Blakes. The camera's still sitting there. It's still there. It watched the saga make a getaway and then it just remained. Pardon me. So let's see. The Highlander Scran is coming to America. There can be only one. They're seething. If you know, you know. I was asking about EU books last week or something. Good memory. I try and remember people's names because there's absolutely no reason for people to come to this channel and like listen to me ramble. You probably I was looking at the analytics the other day and it was giving me like a percentage of people that like use subtitles, and I was like, that's fair. Important work being documented. Yeah, like, can you ask George if that video can be featured on the Phantom Menace behind the scenes on the next reissue or whatever? That'd be cool. Like Star Wars Theory always talks about all his insiders, like Nick Gillard and Roger Christian and stuff like that. I've got Dan Blackroyd, who was like, he was like what Filoni wishes Filoni was. Dan Blackroyd is like who Filoni Faithfuls wish Filoni was to George Lucas. That's funny. Right, let's round this off to an hour 30. You've got 40 seconds. 40 seconds. But yeah, I mean, I recommend like getting a hold of this stuff, even though it might be a little bit more dated at this point. You get the revised versions and stuff. So, a literal creator right here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Soul Assassin. It doesn't matter. Like people like those guys I'm talking about, they just worked on the movies. They're not like in George's brain, you know what I mean? And one of the guys was saying that he was the one that told Theory that Marshall Lucas put the Force back in Star Wars. Anyway, that's the topic for next time. We already talked about it. I'm sure we'll think of some funny stuff to talk about next week. We'll do the history of for Dark Lord, Rise of Darth Vader, and yeah, it'll be good. So thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, and I'll speak to you later. Take care.